Hi, welcome back, ballers. This is Jacqueline, and this is Chesticles. I call it Chesticles because I have brass balls, and I have the funniest story to tell you. And I know so many of you have been through this, and you're just gonna laugh because I'm sure that most of you have gone through this at some point in your life. But I'm like a dog with a bone. I don't give up. I just keep going for it. So it all started when I turned my television on, which I rarely watch television, but for some reason somebody told me to watch the show, and I was like, oh, I'll check it out. But usually I listen to podcasts. That's what I like to do. So I go to turn my television on, and nothing. It's just like all the apps are all grayed out. So I'm like, okay, this is weird. So I do what, I've learned over the years, because evidently I worked for internet providers and TV companies now for free. But anyway, I unplugged the TV, tried to reset that. That didn't work. I unplugged the router. I reset that. That didn't work. Turn my TV back on. Now, all of the other TVs in the house and the phones and the laptops, everything is working. Excellent reception, all this. Now, this is about 12 noon. So I decide, well, let me call Xfinity and see what is the problem. So I called them, and they're like, no, ma'am, we everything's fine. There's no outages. Everything's perfect. So I called Best Buy, which is where I bought the television. And then I tell them what the story is. It's not working. And then once in a while it would like click on Netflix, and it would pop up, and it would be like the big red N. And then it would just circle. And then it would say error code 003, which evidently, in case you didn't know, means there's no internet connection. But then when I checked the connectivity, it said it was connected. So I was like, okay, something's not right here. And I'm not going to lie, I'm working on my patience. I do not have a whole lot of patience when it comes to these types of things. So Best Buy's like, yeah, there's nothing we could do on our end, but the TV is still under manufacturer's warranty. So call the name of the TV, which I'm purposely not going to say because I'm not trying to trash anybody. So I called them, and they said, they ran me through the whole thing. They made me reset the router. They made me reset the thing, unplug it from the wait 15, go back and forth. Still nothing. And she's like, okay, I see what the problem is. It's with your internet provider. Now, this is after an hour and 40 minutes. So let's say it's now 1:40. She's like, yeah, they have to remove a firewall because there's a firewall blocking your TV, and we get this call a lot. But I said, but all my other TVs are working. If it's a firewall issue, but what do I know? If you heard my episode about when I first got my first computer in 2000, and when they said right click and I typed in the word click, you understand that, okay, that was in 2000. I've come a long way. But I don't know. I'm just doing what they're telling me to do. But I'm getting aggravated because the router's like up on the second floor. So I'm running back and forth. And my husband's trying to help me. And, it's just a nightmare. So after all this time, she's like, no, it's definitely the internet provider. You have to call them back. So I call them back. I explained to them. She said you have to remove, I want to say it's the MAC address, MAC. I don't know if that's correct or not, but they have to remove this firewall so that my TV will allow the internet to connect to it. So I call Xfinity. It's like, ma'am, I can't do that. If I take your firewall down, then you're not going to have a safe connection. Like, we don't do that. Like, this is definitely a TV issue. Just call them back and tell them that we don't do that. Now, in the interim, my husband is on his phone, and he's like trying to call and figure out what's going on. So I call back the TV provider, and it's a Roku TV, just so you know, and it's not Roku. It wasn't Roku's problem at all. So I call the internet or the TV company back again, now for the second time, and she goes through the whole thing again and makes me unplug everything. I'm like, I've done this. Now do a software update, then go to settings, and then do this, and then do that. And it's like, I don't work for you. This is, crazy. But I do everything I'm told to do because for the most part, I'm a rule follower. Well, we get through the whole thing. Now, this is, of course, a different person. And this lady says, no, it's definitely a problem with your internet provider. You have to call them back. They have to remove this one firewall. It's not connecting to your TV because of them. It has nothing to do with us. So I call back my internet provider, and I'm like, listen, now it's going on 3:30, 3:45. I said, I am really frustrated. I've gotten nothing done today. I just, and instead of just walking away and taking a deep breath and being like, not today, just try it tomorrow. I am like a dog with a bone. I cannot stop. I have to keep doing it. I got to fix this. It's like I am a fixer if I'm nothing else. So I'm on the phone with Xfinity. He makes me do the whole thing all over again, and he sends a signal, and he resets the router, and of course we unplug it, and we wait. He said, ma'am, I'm sorry, I don't even see that TV on here. He said, I have 16 different connections, and they're all excellent strength. The power's going through, everything's great. It's definitely a TV issue. Like, oh my gosh. And now I call the TV company again, and she's like, yes, I see you've called before. But, I'm going to just ask you to go through. I'm like, no, I'm not doing that again. I have unplugged this router and restarted this TV at least 6 times for both things. Something is wrong. You have to fix it, or I want a new TV. It's still under manufacturer's warranty, which is up in June, and we are in May. So I'm like, yeah, they'll fix it temporarily, and then it'll go out, and then I have to buy a whole new TV. So I'm really getting frustrated. Well, in the interim, I call what John Candy used to call Obi-Phone Kenobi, my son, because he just knows everything. And he's like, just wait till I get home from work and I'll figure it out. Oh, no, not me. I'm too impatient. And my husband's helping me, but then I'm trying to ask him to ask them questions as he's talking to the one company and I'm talking to the other. And he's not one of these people that can, read lips when you're talking. When you're talking on the phone and you, point at something or mouth something, he can't do 2 things at once. It's impossible for him. So I'm getting frustrated with him. He's getting annoyed with me because I'm annoyed with him. And we're going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. So finally, I call them back, and now it is 5 o'clock. Now it's 5 hours I'm in. And she's trying to explain it to me, and she's telling me the same thing. Now, this is the 3rd time and perhaps the 4th time I've called the TV manufacturer. And she's like, it's not our fault. It's your internet provider. We've had this happen before. I'm telling you, they have to remove some firewall and da-da-da-da-da-da. And I'm like, this doesn't seem right. So I said, no, I'm done. I've spent all day. My patients are fried. I'm very frustrated. It's not working. I've turned this on and off a million times. It starts to circle, and then nothing happens. And then at one point, all the apps just went gray. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so frustrating. So, she says, well, if you want, you can call your internet provider on a 3-way call, and I'll explain it to them. So I'm like, oh, okay, well, that's a brilliant idea at this point. Now it's going on 5:30, 5:45 from noon. This has been going on. And I do the 3-way call that I have to initiate because she can't call for me, which is fine. I get a very nice gentleman. Those two are talking their talk, and they're both blaming each other. It's, you've done this. I'm sure you've been through this before. The TV manufacturer is blaming my internet provider. The internet provider is saying, look, every connection is clear. She has 16 different things and blah, 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 blah. Her speed is good. Everything's fine on our end. Like, it sounds like there's something wrong with the TV. Just, replace her TV. And the woman's like, no, she's refusing to let me do this. So I'm like, listen, I'm not doing this anymore. Now it's going on maybe 6:15. And my son comes in and he tries and he can't get it to work, but he does it a lot faster than me. And he's like, I don't know what's wrong with it. It's just acting crazy. So then she's like, okay, we will replace your TV. Now listen to what I have to do to get a new TV. Still under manufacturer's warranty. I have to take 4 videos that are 13 seconds long. Not the 1 second before, not the 1 second longer. 13 seconds video showing exactly what the problem is, and be sure that all 4 corners of the TV are in the video. Well, I turn it on and it's a black screen. So now I have to turn it back off. So I'm trying to get these videos. Then I have to get the receipt. And then they're going to send me an email, and I have to send these videos and the receipt, and they will send it. She's going to escalate it to someone who's going to handle it. Now, I think if I remember correctly, it said I purchased it on June 2nd. So I have about a month, but I'm so impatient and I'm so frustrated at this point. I'm like, are you kidding me? Now it's going on 7 o'clock. So I'm trying to take the video, but then it's black. And then I take it again, and it's just, I'm taking a video of it circling. And then it would pop up, and then the error code would come up, and it would say, please upload your software, which, by the way, we did that about 17 times. No joke. Oh my gosh. And I was on my husband's nerves so bad, he just walked out of the room. But my son's there trying to help me. And I'm like, listen, you're making this extremely difficult. I have to take 4 videos of what's happening, and they must be exactly 13 seconds. And she literally said, not 1 second shorter, not 1 second longer. So, like, I'm not a cameraman or camerawoman, so I'm trying to get this right. I'm trying to show them what it is, but it isn't happening every time. Sometimes it's just either grayed out apps or it's all black apps. It's like, oh my gosh. Now we're going on 7:30. I finally got all the information from her. I get my videos. She's like, okay, I'm going to send you an email. Reply to that email. Also add the address, and then type in exactly what it is, the problem that you're having. Now, I've spoken to 4 people. They all said they've read notes. So now that I have to rewrite that again, I'm like, ah! But finally, I'm like, 7:30, 7.5 hours. I spent my entire, it was a beautiful day here in the Philadelphia area. All of a sudden, my son says, oh my gosh, I think I know what it is. He pushes something on his phone. Oh, and that was the other thing. On my phone, I could pull up my Roku, and I could pull up, all my apps. Everything was working. So it was just definitely the TV. He says, about a week or so ago, I paused your TV. Oh my gosh. Because I wasn't sure if it was yours or mine, because we have the exact same identical TV. Now, I named mine Jacqueline, and I don't know what he named his, but sometimes it just shows up as bedroom. I don't know. Well, he unpauses it, and it all starts working all over again. So I had to laugh, because I spent 7.5 hours between playing ping pong with the manufacturer and my internet company, both of them telling the other one that it's not their fault. Going back and forth. I'm so frustrated. I don't even watch TV that much. I'm like, just throw the flipping TV out the window. Like, that's how I felt. Like, I'm just so aggravated. Only to find out that he was doing something and ended up pausing any connection to my TV. He's like, my bad. So, of course, we laughed about it. And I'm like, you are so lucky. I love you so much, son, because, what are you going to do? You're going to laugh about it. So they sent me the email, but now, of course, everything's working. And I was like, what are the chances of this happening? Oh, my gosh. And he felt really bad, my son. He's like, I'm really sorry. I'm like, look, it was an accident. You did it over a week ago. I don't watch TV that often. It's just, so we wouldn't have known. But we got it all figured out, and it was an internal issue. The calls were coming from inside the house, or the connection was not connecting from inside the house. So he unpaused it, and then everything went back up again. But I thought, I have to tell you guys this story, ballers, because, 7.5 hours. Do you remember back in the day, you called, you'd had a problem, they'd come and fix it for you. Then it got to the point where, okay, well, we're going to ask you to unplug it and plug it, so you do that. Then it got to, well, we're going to reset it remotely. There's just, nobody works anymore. It's just pass around. It's like Ring Around the Rosie. That's what it reminded me of. Everybody was passing me to somebody else, and I kept getting different ticket numbers. And when you call, give this ticket. And they all said they had the information. The internet provider said they all had it, but here it was on our end the whole time because my son paused the connection to my TV. Oh my gosh. I was like, we just had to laugh. We had to laugh. I told my son, I said, you owe me 7.5 hours of hard labor because you did this and we went through this. He's like, Mom, I don't know why you're even talking to these people. I would have figured it out if you just could have waited for me to get home. But he was at work all day. So I was like, no, I have to fix it. I'm just one of those people, are you like this? I have to fix it. I can't just, I'm never one to just, well, not never say never, but I rarely just shrug my shoulders and say, oh, well, it doesn't work. Okay, no, nothing you can do. I have to get to the bottom of it. I have to figure it out. So we finally figured it out, and that's what it was, and it was our fault. So it was coming from inside the house the whole time. We got it figured, and now, of course, I'm like, I don't want to ever turn it off, so I've been binge watching show after show after show, which, by the way, Baby Reindeer, whoo, cuckoo. I've been watching so many good ones. But yeah, I just wanted to share that with you guys. I know you're probably not as stupid as I am and would waste 7.5 hours, but I was getting so snappy at the end, or snippy, or whatever you want to call it, because I'm like, listen, just send me a new TV. I'm flipping tired of going back and forth and upstairs, downstairs, unplug, reset software, reset this, go back to this. It was crazy. But we got it all figured out, luckily. Thank goodness. And my husband didn't kill me and I didn't kill him. So it kind of all worked out in the end. And now we just have to laugh about it. But I thought I'd tell you that funny story because the whole time I'm just thinking, why? Why is this taking so long? Why can't this be resolved sooner? According to my son, they should have... Well, the guy, in all fairness, the guy from Xfinity did say my TV isn't even connected. So he assumed it was a TV issue, but he couldn't see that it was paused, which, I guess they can only see so much. But shout out to Xfinity. They were very professional. Even the woman at the manufacturing was very professional, but as soon as she would ask me a question, she wouldn't even let me answer before she's like, okay, ma'am, with this one that we're going, she kept talking over me. So we were... Oh, but here I am, and I'm just gonna just keep watching TV now until I have to go out because I don't want to turn it back off again. But anyway, guys, I hope you have a wonderful weekend. I am excited. I have a party to go to tomorrow, a 30th celebration for my nephew. I'm looking forward to going to that and seeing my lovely family. And I'm looking forward to that tonight. Did I say tomorrow? No, it's tonight. I haven't slept much because after all that, I was so wound up I couldn't sleep. But anyway, I wanted to share that story with you guys. Listen, hey, thanks again. I'm just so grateful for all the shares and likes and all your comments and your follows. Please, if you want to help me out, just follow me and listen to my stories. If you don't like it, skip it. I have I have crazy stories. I really do. But I really appreciate all the likes and the follows. And, now I'm on all these different platforms. And it's just wonderful. And I appreciate it so much because all I'm doing is sitting here talking into my phone, telling people funny stories by myself. I am going to, this is the plan. We haven't agreed yet, but I've mentioned my husband several times in several episodes, but we're actually separated. We live in the same house, but we've been separated for over 2 years now. So that's a real delicate situation. So I'll have to tell you about that next time too, how we cope with that. But anyway, ballers, have a wonderful weekend. Enjoy it. And I will be talking to you guys real soon on the next episode. Thank you again so much. Bye. Hi, sorry, real quick, I just wanted to add something. I said John Candy. It's not John Candy. It was Louis Anderson. Love him. He's the one that said Obi-Wan Kenobi, and I just thought that was hysterical. There's people like my son that can just fix a computer in 2 seconds. I sat there with, no exaggeration, 20 different chargers, and I'm like, what is all this for? And what's a lightning one? What goes this? And he set me up so great. So I wanted to correct that, though. It was Louis Anderson that said Obi-Wan Kenobi, which I thought was so funny. Not John Candy. All right, bye, ballers.